Hey everyone, this is Ricky Z, and thank you for coming to our new episode of Geekin Out. So let's get started with introducing everyone. Let's go with our Duryea. He is our actor and writer and digital media producer. And we have Chris Steele, theater performance major, as well as the operation manager. We have Julian, computer science and math major, gamer, and artist. And the lovely Jessa, who is an author and also in marketing. And then you have me, day job as a teacher, and then my night job is social media manager. All right, so I think we have a really good show tonight. So what I want us to do first is to kind of check in, talk about how you're doing, and what are you guys geeking out about today?
Do we get to go like at random?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any pressing one? I mean, because I have one.
I bought some new plants for my house, and I feel really excited.
That's how you know. You're really excited about plants.
You know what? But honestly, over the since the pandemic started, so many people have like become planters, become gardeners, and things like that over this whole time. Oh yeah, everyone's getting like plants and things like that.
You know what is so cool is that we went to this brewery, right? And they had a bus that was like this houseplant bus, and you got to get on the bus and look at all these plants and these pots. And I was really there to geek out about these little plants. I hope I don't kill them. They will die.
Oh no!
I'm gonna try so hard, but
it's hard to have a green thumb.
It's a real thing, but no.
Chris, what are you geeking out about?
I don't want to give away too much because it might feed into a little bit of my episode next week, but they just released some new episodes of 7 Deadly Sins on Netflix, and it was a whole season, and almost at the end, and I'm dying because I know that once I consume it that I'll want more. But yeah, I love the 7 Deadly Sins. God, it's so good.
What about you, Julian?
Oh man, there's actually a lot. Okay, so I last time I was saying that Legend of Korra is going to be on Netflix. Totally is on. I've been watching it. I'm on season 2 now. At the end of season 2, going to be starting season 3 now. Also things that I kind of binge watched. I want to talk about it. Okay, Cursed. I don't know if you guys have seen it yet.
Talking about Cursed, but I haven't.
Don't spoil it. I'm like 4 episodes in.
I'm trying. I don't want to spoil exactly.
No,
the only thing I want to point. The only thing that I want to. No. It's not about plot at all. It's not about plot at all. The only thing that I wanted to. I guess I wanted to make a joke about is I'm pretty sure all of those actors are acting in front of like a maze of like green screens the entire time. There is so much CGI. It's really well done. Don't get me wrong. It's really, really well done, and I like it.
At the end of the first episode, I was not thinking it was good.
I wasn't expecting it. But yeah, that was the thing. But like, it really helps like kind of bring the world to life in a more low budget kind of a way versus like having people on site going out to fucking New Zealand, filming there the way they do like Lord of the Rings and all those kind of and those settings for all those kinds of movies. Instead, it's just been like them kind of acting in rooms full of like green screens. I'm almost positive, like because there's so many like backgrounds and backdrops and things and like. Foregrounds and change of perspective that I'm just like this is definitely CGI. Like this is definitely like green screened in, you know what I mean?
But CGI is not bad if it's done well. I was watching Avengers Age of Ultron the other day, and I just looked at it. I was like, oh, a lot of this is green screen. But it was really well done. Like because it took me so long to really notice. The part where they're like in the air and the city's about to fall. I'm looking at all the background. I'm like, oh, that's all green screen. And I think the only reason I noticed is because I've been looking at green screen stuff a lot lately, ever since I started doing like all this media production. But if it's quality green screen, it's good. The problem is, I think that shit costs a lot of money, right? Mm-hmm. Because the lower budget shows that you get, the less they have to pay for green screen. What sucks about that is this, though. Sometimes when you're looking at a really well-written script, really great plot, great actors, all that, and then as soon as somebody does something special effecty and it's bad, that can literally ruin the whole thing.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, if it's not done well, you're like, ooh. I'm saying the very end of the first episode of Cursed, I almost was like, all right, nope, this is stupid. I'm gone.
Really?
It got much better, but like that, yes, like maybe the last 3 minutes of it, I was like, oh, yeah, it was. This ruined this episode for me, for sure.
Well, we're finally getting really fully getting into The Last Airbender.
Ooh.
The kids and I are. So like we've like this weekend we sat and like binged a bunch of episodes. We're on season 2 now. And like what pushed me was seeing some of the stuff for The Legend of Korra because that looks excellent. So I want to be able to finish the first series before I move on to the next one. And then I need to catch up on The Umbrella Academy. I remember I watched like half the first season.
Yeah, I saw the previews for that too.
But I want to finish it before I start season 2.
I don't know why I never finished the first season either. I
did you
made
cry
it most of the way through and then never finished.
Because that's what I did.
No, I don't remember. I don't remember what happened, but I know that I was like interested, and then all of a sudden, maybe something else came out, and I just took over, and then I forgot. I don't know, but I want to finish that too and watch the second season.
Yes. So another thing that has kind of started to like really get me geeking right now is I'm not really agreeing with this quite yet, but just the possibility. So like this past weekend, AMC Theaters has released
the 15th.
Released when they're going to start opening up theaters, with like 30% capacity. So like I have the AMC Theater app, so I can get my $5 rewards and get cheap tickets. And
we've got to have that coupon.
Look, you got to have the reward stuff. So I'm looking on there on what's coming out. So I'm actually excited about Wonder Woman. The new Wonder Woman.
For sure. It looks awesome. The preview looks awesome.
Just the poster alone looks amazing.
I jump in real quick.
Yeah.
I'm curious as to how they're going to explain. If you watch this, I'm not going to spoil it, but if you go watch the trailer, there's somebody in the trailer who should not be there. And I'm really curious as to how they're going to explain that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay. So Wonder Woman, I'm interested to see that. The New Mutants, that one's coming out on.
Oh, that looks so good.
Next week. That's coming out next week.
New Mutants?
Yeah, the New Mutants.
Let me tell you
New
about
Mutants.
New Mutants is basically like it's still part of 20th Century Fox. Their timeline of mutants, but they're trying to produce it in a way that could still lend itself to the new stuff that X-Men are doing. So they're not going to mention anything from the old X-Men movies. None of that's going to be explained. So basically, they said they want to write it as like a horror film instead of like an action film, because all these mutants, once they come into their power, like if you really read a lot of the stories about how these mutants initially their powers were sparked, it was always when somebody got their head cut off or some
serious trauma. Right? Yeah.
So it looks like it's going to be.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
But so speaking of X-Men though, like Disney Plus just got like a couple of their movies on there. So like I'm waiting for them to put the whole lineup on there. Like I know we're trying to get away from the from Fox, but like I kind of want to see all of them and sit through them. I want to watch them in the entirety. I do just for curiosity's sake.
Do you think Disney will be able to get the rights to to show it on the platform?
Yeah, they already have.
I mean, they already have like 3 of them on there right now.
Yeah.
I think they got like the first one, and then like a couple of the newer ones.
They have the original one, and then I know they have Days of Future Past, and I think they have another one, and they have X-Men Evolution,
right?
Which is hands down the best X-Men cartoon, in my opinion, that's ever been produced. Somebody in the audience who's seen X-Men Evolution, it's better than every cartoon because the plot is so like whoever came up with the plotting devices for that was very thoroughly researched and also knew things about nuances. The episode where Rogue is introduced is to me what the original movie should have been. Because it basically shows Mystique is trying to get her and all the X-Men are trying to get her, but she's freaking out because she's touched somebody, and the memories go along with it, not just a person's abilities. So she's kind of like having these schizo moments, and she touches Storm at one point, and oh my god, it's so epic, bro. If y'all haven't seen X-Men Evolution, please go check that out.
I remember getting a little bit into that cartoon. I remember definitely being into the original like Fox Channel cartoon way back in the 90s, and I'm trying to get my kids into it, but like, you know, they're into whatever they want to do.
I don't know what's good for them.
Yeah, they'll learn. All right, and then so there's another one that's coming out in November. I'm kind of like flip-floppy about this one, but it's Black Widow.
How are you flip-floppy about Black Widow? What do you mean?
Because I'm not a big fan of Scarlett Johansson.
I think the connection is poor. You glitched. You glitched right now. I'm trying to say that one more time.
I am not a fan of Scarlett Johansson.
You said Scarlett Johansson's the GOAT? Yeah, you're right. Yes, that's true.
what I heard.
That's what I heard.
So you know what? I will say from the very first scene that she did in the Avengers, I've wanted her to have her own movie.
Thank you.
That was such a so.
You mean the one where she's tied to the chair?
I do mean that scene.
Yeah.
I could totally see like not like in Scarlett Johansson, and like I'm not a huge fan of her in everything that I've seen her in for sure. But I love the Black Widow, and I could probably see a few other people playing the Black Widow, but I love the Black Widow herself. Right. Like, and I think that it's going to be such an interesting story that I really do want to see play out. For sure.
And like I want to, because I want to be able to continue just like that saga of movies, but like, and like I definitely enjoyed her introduction back in, was it Iron Man 2?
Yes.
Yes, like
it was such a smooth introduction.
It was
and effortless, and it didn't seem like forced or out of place.
It was not forced at all.
No, it was good. So I'm just kind of like,
you know what else I like about that? I'm sorry. I like that it sets you up for every other time that a character was going to be introduced into the MCU, and it also set us up for now that we see how the world like kind of bleeds into itself. Like they're really not making solo movies at all anymore. There's not going to be any movie that comes out from Marvel that's got one superhero in it ever again.
Like tangent a little bit, but have you guys watched them in like not how they came out order, but like chronological order of how they're supposed to go? Because it is so I kind of had to skip like that first Hulk that is not the like new Hulk, right? Like, yeah. But if you watch them like that, it's so interesting because they do intertwine. They were working together the entire time because, you know, you're like in one world and they're like, we got to go out to New Mexico because guess who's in New Mexico now?
Right
after this. So I think they did such a good job, and I'm excited to see how the Black Widow kind of plays in.
Right, and like I think that's one of the really good things about the Marvel Cinematic Universe is just how like everything ties together. Like you have to sit to the end of the credits to get those pieces, and once you do, like, oh my goodness, yes, we're gonna see this person. This is gonna happen, and it's so well put together. I feel like that it's like it kind of makes it a league of their own as far as like having that big universe of characters together.
Didn't the Marvel universe start that where like after the ending credits they would give you like little snippets of what to expect for the next one?
I don't know when it first happened, to be honest.
That was I want to say it's like the superhero movies started
I think it actually was Iron Man the first time that happened. Honestly.
Yeah, it was like one of these, but I just remember it being kind of more recent.
Like, I don't think I'm not sure when it started, but like
it was the X-Men. Because let me tell you how I know it was X-Men. I'm not sure which one. Actually, I could be wrong, but I do remember at the end of X-Men 3, X-Men United, the one everybody hates. I know. At the very end, because remember, Professor X got like dematerialized or whatever.
And then he
was talking about how he was strong enough to put his consciousness in someone else, and there was this clip of this man who was brain dead in Ireland. So after the credit. It shows two scenes. There were two scenes. There was one scene that showed him, the man who was brain dead in Ireland. It showed him waking up, right? And then the other scene, it showed because remember, Magneto got his powers taken away, and so he's sitting playing chess by himself in the park. and there's a chess piece in front of him. This is one of my favorite ones.
Yes, I remember that.
And it moved.
The chess piece was sitting there, and it went, and then that's how it ended. Yes, it was so good. And yes, Phoenix wasn't. No, but that was the end credits. That was the end. That wasn't the end credits. That was at the end of the actual movie. That was before the credits when you saw Phoenix under the water. But they definitely were like, look, X-Men is the reason that movies are like they are now, and we'll discuss later. But I just had to say that.
You gotta give. I know some people kind of rag on superhero films like that, but like there's some really good like examples of continuity for one. I feel like, and just really like building a story. There's a lot of world building. Like even though they got like a really good source material.
They have a good foundation, but like what they use it. They cast well, they integrate well, and they use the storylines well.
I mean, specifically,
they hire the right directors too. They don't just pick like hey, you're a great name. You're like, no, you're a huge nerd, and you will do this right. You do justice to this film.
Mm-hmm.
Do you mean specifically in terms of Marvel Cinematic Universe?
I don't want to talk about DC. We can do that another time.
Well, I mean, when you say Marvel, are you talking about specifically the ones that are created by Disney, or all together?
All together, I feel like.
No, I disagree. That's why I disagree. So,
okay, the Disney universe does it.
I feel like the Disney ones are very. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Say what you're saying.
I think I agree with you. Go ahead.
I think that Disney is very good about the continuity. Now, the issue with X-Men was exactly that. They were not continuous. Honestly, even with Dark Phoenix being bad, people still were going to go see those movies because it's evident in every movie they made after still made money, right? If they had just stuck with the continuity, consequences were real consequences. We had 4 actors play Cyclops, all at the same age, yet in 4 different time periods.
Yeah.
With no explanation. Cyclops is everywhere. At one point, Emma Frost was created twice, once in the 80s and once in the not the 30s, the 60s. And in the 60s, she was 30, and in the 80s, she was 18.
So maybe Disney can fix some of this
Disney's
stuff.
Gonna start from scratch.
They'd have to own the rights.
They're going to start from scratch. They do. Now.
Well, I mean, they didn't.
You're right.
Okay.
Can I say Emma Frost is one of my favorite villains?
Yeah.
She's like one of my favorite. I love the bad bitch.
She's a bad bitch, though.
Okay, so speaking of bad bitches, and I know someone has mentioned.
What a segue.
I'm sorry, but like, okay, so I know people are kind of like down on the DCEU, but I like the Birds of Prey movie. Like,
I didn't see it yet, so please don't spoil it. But I love Journey Smollett. I love Journey Smollett. I love her.
Yeah,
she's great. I have not seen it either, but I think she's great.
She's awesome.
So like, I know like, a lot of people are ragging on it, but like, I enjoy what's her name?
Margot Robbie.
Yes, Margot Robbie. I love her Harley Quinn. Like I love her Harley.
I didn't see that movie.
In general, right?
I did hear that this one was a lot better in terms of.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, in terms of writing the characters, I heard this one was much better.
What did you say, Jessa?
I said I liked her in like Wolf of Wall Street. I've liked her in other acting things I've seen her do.
Oh yeah, but
that is Wolf of Wall Street. She was amazing in that movie.
Yeah. Oh, I Am Tanya, the Tanya Harding.
I haven't seen that.
That one's good.
Oh, she was in that?
Tanya Harding.
Tanya
she is Tanya?
Yeah.
She plays Tanya?
Oh, yeah.
That's her. Okay.
Like Allison Janney as her mother. Brilliant. Allison Janney won an Oscar.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
What was funny was that like when she was doing the interview for the movie, she was like, when I read the script, I was like, oh, this is totally cool. Like, what kind of story is this? She didn't realize it was like a true life story. She had never heard about the actual, like, hitting people in the knees with bats and stuff. Right. So like that. But I think she's a jewel, and I love her Harley Quinn. And some people didn't care for the movie, but like it's kind of chaotic, and it's kind of what I wanted at the time when it came out. So it's everything that I need. So I enjoy it greatly.
I have found that it's usually a lot of male voices that don't like that movie. Can't imagine why.
Just being upset. Being upset that she's not wearing like those extremely like
That's
short.
the other thing. They cut out the booty shorts, and all of a sudden there's an upset and an uproar, and her boobs aren't like the main thing to look at anymore, and suddenly there's an upset and an uproar, and it's like that's what I heard about this movie that I like. That I haven't seen it yet, but I would like to see it for that. It was like directed by a woman, like written by a woman. This one, something like that. But it's like the perspective. You could tell that the perspective is just much different from like the regular male gaze one versus a more true to life, I would say.
Yeah, it definitely like kind of ventures away from her introduction as Harley in Suicide Squad, which I didn't hate. Honestly,
I loved her. I love that movie for real.
Like, I enjoy it. Like I think I enjoy it, but more than like the others from DC.
Yeah, there's a lot from DC I don't like, and that one was not bad at all.
Yeah,
I'll give it a not bad.
So can I throw a geeking out thing in here? I have 3 of them. Okay. I'm geeking out. First of all, I'm geeking out in a negative way because. And I don't know their names, but the creators of the Avatar have officially left the live action project on Netflix now. They have officially left because they said that things were not going the way that they had hoped they would go. They said it just wasn't right. Now, I did hear that the people who originally directed, like I heard there's like 4 people, right? The 2 who created it and other people who were like either artistic director or creator or something like that. They're staying with the project. The people who specifically made Sokka funny, and there's another aspect of it that I heard, but they're still continuing forward with the series. Now, do we trust? I trust Netflix though. I trust Netflix. I definitely trust Netflix.
Okay.
But their history of making animes into live action is a checkered past.
A checkered past.
It's been checkered.
Well, I think all anime, but technically, I think all anime doesn't translate to film very well. So far, I haven't seen it happen successfully. But I do want to say this: I don't consider Avatar anime.
I can see that.
Actually, it's funny as we talk about it. Go ahead.
I don't consider it anime just because it just has this. I want to call it like this extremism. It's that moment in an anime, like in Pokemon, where they're throwing the ball and the background is going like up, and they're just frozen there, and there's the ball spinning in the air. You know what I mean? They don't do that in Avatar. That to me is what I determine.
I think it's more mainstream anime, right? Like, so I think you have like your mainstream anime that is like things like me who do not watch anime. I know about, like, I know what it is. I've probably watched a couple episodes. Like, it's something that's a little more mainstream versus like something like deep in the weeds that I would never ever know about. Something that my sister is going to bring up, and I'm going to be like, okay, cool. That's awesome. But I just think that it's a little more mainstream. So I do think it's still anime. I just think it's a little.
But then Pokemon is super mainstream too.
No, I would consider Pokemon the same thing. It's very mainstream.
But you're saying that. I'm sorry. So you're saying if it's mainstream, then you're saying that because it's mainstream, that's why I don't consider it anime?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that it's just more mainstream, so it doesn't feel like that like typical anime kind of feel.
I think that it's a movie that's clearly about Asian culture. But I'm sorry, a movie. It's a television show that's clearly about Asian culture. But just because it's about Asian culture, people automatically put that it's anime, attach it to it. And I personally feel like it's just a cartoon about Asian culture. I don't consider it anime because it doesn't have that half of it that's like super extreme. When I call it super extreme, it's like when somebody, you know what I'm talking about, where the eyes go like really wide, they're screaming at somebody.
So
like
it's not Japanese animation. It was a Nickelodeon cartoon that was made like inspired by Japanese culture.
Absolutely.
But you know, I mean, I still consider it like, I mean, it's in the realm of anime. Like it's on the spectrum of anime. Like, I mean, it may be like kind of, you know, low on the spectrum, like over here. But
So
because I've heard that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so Tia James said like the same could be the same said for Sailor Moon. I don't
know the English version. If you're watching the Japanese version with English subtitles, I think it's a little different.
We need to talk about this next week.
Next week.
Okay.
We can't talk about it now.
I mean, Chris is hosting next week or next time.
I'm just being mean because I know he want to wait.
Oof. We got some things
I would agree. I would agree though, because I feel like I have heard at least that it's not technically considered anime because it's not a Japanese created anime. It's more, it is American made. Right. Yeah, and that's what makes it. That would make it anime. It's more, it's American made with anime inspiration. So it's like we see that stuff in there, but it's not technically considered anime because it's not Japanese anime. It's not created in that way. The creators aren't that. They did do a really good job of trying to put a lot of like Asian cultural elements in there. They did do a really good job of that.
What's about it is that they put those Asian elements in there without being like overly specific and overly exclusionary. If exclusionary is an actual word, because I feel like I just made it up.
No, it's a real word.
Thank you. Cool.
But exclusionary of what?
Exclusionary, like it's not so specific to one Asian culture.
Yes.
Like there's kind of like the whole idea of the different nations. It's kind of inclusive. So that way everyone from that culture, even with the differences, they can still feel like it's theirs. Does that make sense? Because I personally feel like Asian people and Asian culture is heavily underrepresented in entertainment, especially American entertainment. Yeah. So,
and honestly, that was one of the shining factors of Airbender. But in Korra, they kind of lost that a little bit. And I was just reading an article by interviewing one of the, I want to say it's like the creative directors for Legend of Korra, for Airbender it was. And then when Legend of Korra came out, she no longer worked on Legend of Korra. But she voiced her opinion on it in the interview, and it was just very like they kind of lost some of that the Far East elements that Airbender had in Korra by westernizing Korra's storyline.
That's why I didn't watch Korra, because honestly, after that movie, I was really done. I was mad.
Legend of Korra was this.
Avatar
movie.
What movie?
Yeah, what movie? I'm sorry.
That's a movie? What are you talking about?
We keep having the same thing happen.
I keep dreaming about this movie that's not real. I do want to bring up another one. Okay, so that's one thing I'm excited about, or not excited, but sad about. So there's been rumors swirling around the internet that they're going to cast, or that Shia LaBeouf is in talks to play.
It's going to be Colton Hayes.
Bobby Drake. Now listen, so we have a few things to unpack in here. For one, apparently Shia LaBeouf is racist, and I missed that. I missed all of that. But I personally was like, I don't think he's going to be Iceman. I think he's better suited to play Cyclops, personally, because of how he looks now physically. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to so this is the issue. A lot of gay people are saying that actor has to be played. I'm sorry, that character has to be played by a gay actor because the character is gay. Now, here's true tea. Bobby Drake has been Bobby Drake is Iceman from X-Men, Tia James, but Bobby Drake has been depicted as straight for most of his existence. Only recently has he become gay. So I said this: why don't they just write him as being bisexual, right? Openly so, because we don't see that at all. Like a healthy representation and not overly sexualized representation of a bisexual male who's in love with men and women. This way, you don't have to be nitpicky about who plays them. You get kind of the politics away, but you then still shed light on the fact that this is an underrepresented group of people. Now, having said that, I'm about to get off my soapbox. Give me 2 seconds. Do y'all think that does it matter? Like this whole gay actors have to play gay roles? Do y'all feel that way? I feel like that way when it comes to like race roles and when it comes to like maybe transgendered roles, but not so much when it comes to gay and straight roles. What do y'all think?
Well, I would like to know, like, one, how do you know that like Shia LaBeouf has never had like any of those tendencies himself or like felt any of that, right?
I think because he's not out about it.
Okay, that's true. But like, I feel like everybody if you're really honest, you've kind of had a little bit of those vibes at some point. Like, I feel like you could
Talk about Jessa.
I'm just saying, I feel like
All
you
right,
could at least use those kind of vibes to play that character. I am personally married to a man, so I cannot talk about that. I am going to say that I really like Shia LaBeouf, and I think that he would do the role justice. We just watched Peanut Butter Falcon last night for the first time, and oh my God, if you have not seen it, it's amazing. It makes you feel wonderful and lovely, and it just makes me feel great about Shia LaBeouf as an actor. But if the stuff about racism is true, I mean, that kind of changes.
I don't know. I have to look into it. If anybody knows in the comments, please put me on game.
Yeah.
Here's my piece because.
God.
Oh, I'm sorry, Julian.
No, all I was gonna say is I think he's off the table, but keep going. I'll go after. I'll wrap it up.
I'm just gonna say about the topic that Duryea brought up, like whether straight people should be able to play gay roles and whatnot, vice versa. My thing that I get a little bit angry about is that, you know, it's not going to happen for probably an X-Men movie. But, you know, if a straight guy does play a gay role and does it really well in like a really big blockbuster movie, it's Oscar worthy. Like, I mean, that is
annoying. That is annoying.
It's Oscar worthy. And like, but you will never see, or almost never see, a gay man cast as a straight man in some sort of like big feature movie getting nominated for an Oscar because of that. Like, it doesn't go the other way.
You mean like Neil Patrick Harris playing the fuck out of that role on TV for 10 years and not winning an Emmy?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Right.
He played the hell out of that part.
But that's what annoys me is like a straight man can play gay like one time in the right movie and all of a sudden they are set, like they can write their own ticket because they're Oscar nominated. They might have won the Oscar. Who knows? You know, and that's what annoys me. Like, not necessarily like, no, they can't play those roles. Like, you should give it to a gay man, but like sometimes the right role should be given to a gay man. And like we should have a representative, you know, that is actually gay that can win an Oscar or something, like for, you know, for the people, for the children.
Cheering.
I kind of feel the same way, where it's just because of what am I saying? Because I think of like all the straight cisgendered men that have played like trans women in some way, and like they get awards for it, like critical acclaim for these things, and it's just like, you know, there are like there's plenty of trans women that are in the business for years, and like we're just not really getting to like see them shine. So, like, thank you, Pose. But some of these women should have been.
Thank you, Pose.
Right.
Thank you.
Like, should have been doing this for a while. Like, I didn't know this, but one of the go back to like Cheetah Girl days. One of the actors that played the teacher, she's trans. Didn't know it. She's been acting for decades.
Really?
Yes. Like, she's been acting for
years. You guys
years.
haven't seen Disclosure on Netflix.
Yes.
But that sounds familiar for some reason.
Absolutely watch it.
Because
it's about like trans representation in movies.
Uh-oh, there's a baby. He's present.
I know.
Okay, one more thing. I have one more thing, y'all, and then I'm done with my geek.
Actually, no, really fast. Wait, what were we just talking about before?
We were talking about playing.
I had it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. So really fast. Oh, Shia LaBeouf. That's what it was. Sorry for Iceman. So it originally was supposed to be Shia LaBeouf, and then on the internet it's circulating that's between Shia LaBeouf and then Colton Hayes. But Colton Hayes tweeted the other day something about an opportunity, and then a picture of Iceman, and then being really appreciative of this opportunity. XYZ. Blah blah blah. So I'm pretty sure that Shia LaBeouf is off the table, and I'm almost positive that Colton Hayes is now going to be.
I don't think that they were considering Shia LaBeouf for Iceman at all, because that doesn't make any sense. To me, casting-wise, he's too old for that part. Bobby Drake is supposed to be like really young and kind of like goofy and immature. Yeah. Shia LaBeouf, like when he was like back when he was doing Transformers, sure, but now have you seen Shia LaBeouf? He doesn't look like a kid. He doesn't look like a kid.
Yeah,
he's like bruh.
Yeah, he's all scruffy. He's a man.
Yeah. Super scruffy.
Yeah.
He's not lean. He looks like Cyclops looks in the cartoons to me.
Maybe post Even Stevens, but not so much.
But that's the thing. I don't think it's gonna be
Even
him.
Stevens, though. Okay, so here's my last thing I want to geek out about.
But
basically, Boys, which I haven't seen Boys, but
The Boys.
Jensen. Oh, I'm sorry, The Boys.
I love
Jensen,
geeking out about Boys. Don't worry.
Right. Jensen Ackles from Supernatural.
Yes, I don't
is
know
joining the cast of The Boys. He's joining the cast of The Boys.
I'm so excited. I don't even know what you're saying.
As a
I don't know
superhero.
what you're referencing, but I want him to be on The Boys.
It's like, I'm so excited. I can't understand what you're saying now.
I don't know what he's doing on the show, but I just know he's gonna be there.
I'm so pumped. Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he was one of the people working against the superheroes.
That's probably true. I hope so. I hope he's.
I haven't seen the show, so I'm just excited that he's working still. Because sometimes when you're on a show for that long, you get stuck afterward and you don't know where to go next.
Especially when you're on the CW.
Yeah, especially after that.
Oh, it says that the show is slow. Dude, somebody gets killed, murked, ran through, real quick in the beginning.
Jessa just became a real thug. Did y'all?
He said murked.
This bitch just said murked. I am done.
For 5 minutes.
Jessa, yes.
Oh my God, what happened? What happened? She goes, and then I was like, who is this?
Okay, I see her next comment, and I totally get that. Okay.
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
Wait,
Okay.
which show is
on
this
that moment
again?
forever.
Sorry, I know.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, y'all. It just came out.
So
Never apologize for the thug life.
the undercover thug. I'm down with it. I'm down with it.
Girl, where's your sunglasses at? And your shade. Where's your ice and your
You've been hiding
sunglasses?
from us, bro.
Yeah.
Hiding.
Okay.
Right.
So we're gonna take a break right here. So I want you guys to give us a few minutes.
1 minute.
1 minute. I'm sorry. Give us a minute. We'll be back, and we're gonna start with our top 10
minute
classics. All right.
It's Duryea Rashad, and I want to take this time to thank you for being here and geeking out with us. And I also want to tell you about Talk It Out. Talk It Out is our brother podcast where we get together in a productive space and we have some pretty deep conversations, but we do it in a respectful way. This week's topic is gender roles in society. Do you think that men and women should stick to the old traditional norms, or do you think it's time for us to throw all that away? If you want to join in the conversation, be there with us Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We'll be on Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. All right, make sure to see us there. Bye. All right, that's Talk It Out. I don't know who that handsome young man was right there.
Oh,
But,
very spicy there.
he seemed like he was talking about some good stuff. All right, so that
Anyways.
beautiful man. Oh, I can't keep talking about the beautiful man we just saw.
Anyway, welcome back. We're going to continue on with our top 10 cult classics. So we had to have a little debate about this, about if we wanted to talk about cult classic films or just cult classics in general, and what constituted a movie as a cult classic. So if we want to start with that real quick, and then we can start with someone's list.
Okay.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So, what do you call a cult classic?
I specifically, in the frame of this show, now cult classic, I think, because I looked up cult classic. Actually, somebody else go, because I saw a definition and I want to find it.
So while he's looking for that, I'll go ahead and say I really thought that it was something that was not very popular in pop culture at its time, but that became very popular with a very specific group of people.
Right. It's very niche. It's very niche.
So when making my list, I definitely felt like I had to eliminate some things because they had become so mainstream for me. It was also a little bit of a cheat for me because there were so many things that I wanted to include on the list. And I was like, nah, it's real popular. So I'm going to just kind of leave that out.
Yeah.
But
I
that
say put it in.
I know. We got some different ideas. That's okay.
Not okay. Okay.
So what about you, Chris?
Yeah, no, I was going to say like basically the same thing, like that it, may not have been like a huge following initially, but like over time and with momentum kind of gained that, cult status where, like it gets revived, like, an old movie theater will show it every once in a while just because like, it's one of those movies, or, they'll rerun it on TV sometimes. Like maybe not that. Like if it gets rerun on TV, maybe it's not a cult classic. I don't know. We can debate, but I definitely think that along the same lines of what Jessa said, it wasn't popular at its time, but it gained momentum later.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Derek?
I personally think. Okay, so I looked it up. It says a cult classic, something typically a movie or book that is popular or fashionable among a particular group or section of society, right?
Okay.
So that is it's very broad, right? Mm-hmm. So for the purposes of today's exercise, I specifically looked at sci-fi, supernatural, horror, things of like a mystical element, that kind of stuff, just because like cult classics of all time, then you're going into like, oh my God, that's the top 10 of all times. Like, but you see, so I kept it there because when it says a subsect of cult, I'm sorry, not a subsect, because I think I made up that word too.
No,
that's a word.
I'm just surprised at myself today.
Just gotta put it right to a dictionary.
Okay. It says a popular group or section of society. So to me, nerds are that. So I decided to make my top 10 a nerd top 10. Look at Tia James said like Purple Rain. No, Purple Rain is not a nerd top 10.
It could be.
It's not.
It could be. Look, most of mine are musicals because I'm a musical nerd. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
You did. I'm a musical nerd too, but this show ain't called Musical Out.
Now, to be fair, I, on accident, most of mine are like geeky, but I think one of mine is not. It's more just kind of a cult classic of itself. So I think it fits. You can have a cult classic.
Horror is like one of the like definitions of cult classic, and it's
but that's also geeky.
I think everybody has that on their list. I'm pretty sure everybody has that on their list
because it's awesome and it's a musical. So get off my neck.
We're gonna talk about it because I have a lot to say about Rocky Horror.
Oh, we should start with these top 10s because these.
Well, we're waiting for. Okay, so Julian took a break, so I guess he had the little nerds room. He had to use the little nerds room. So.
See, I refilled my drink on the minute break.
I ain't even had a chance to get my crack my bottle open, but I guess I can.
I need a refill.
Okay, so like we. So let us just go ahead and put that out there that like eventually we're gonna have to have like an episode about Rocky Horror.
Hell yeah!
Please no, girl, spare me.
Well, but you can go out and you can guest star for you.
Okay,
listen, Jessica got gangster today. She came in rare form today. She ready. She wants all the smoke. Jessica wants all the smoke, and I'm scared. Thank God. Whose list we gonna do? Y'all save me.
Okay, I want to start with the last one to finish is Crystal.
Okay, I will do mine. All right, so we're going in order from 1 to 10.
I don't know. Listen, Chris, which one is your 10? Heather's, right?
Yeah, Heather's was the first one that I read. It's not my top one though. All right, so I'm going top to bottom. All right, number 1, Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
Wait, these are not in order that you sent them to me.
No, they're not in order.
Now we in front of everybody on the internet looking like you don't know what's going on.
I told you before we started.
They're laughing at us now. They laughing now. It's too late.
It's fine. You laugh. Whatever. My number 1 is Hedwig and the Angry Inch.
It's right there.
I don't even know what that is.
I know, Duryea. That's what infuriates me about you because you are also a theater person.
Wow, we were supposed to laugh.
I'm mad you just said that.
Okay, Chris, continue.
Okay, all right. Number 2, Camp.
Yes, Sasha Allen,
Duryea.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad.
Number 3, Sordid Lives. If y'all hadn't seen it, look it up. Number 4. Oh, where's number 4? Heather's. Okay, Heather's is my number 4. All right, number 5, Little Shop of Horrors, the movie.
Mhm.
Amazing. Number 6, Rocky Horror. I mean, we couldn't leave it off. All right. I think that's it with the musicals. I think. All right. Number 7. I know it was 6 musicals, and that's fine. Okay.
And that's fine.
Number 7, Cabin Fever. Have
Okay.
any of you ever watched the horror movie Cabin Fever? It's well,
I feel like I've seen it once before.
I need to watch all of it.
it's good. Well, it's not good. It's bad, but it's amazing. Number 8 is Veronica Mars, the movie.
Okay.
Because it was such a cult following, they actually made a movie out of the TV show, and like it was this Kickstarter. Okay. Number 9, Napoleon Dynamite. Made it on the list.
Mm.
Ow.
Mm.
It was so funny, y'all.
It was no, look, okay. If I watch it now, I'll groan probably, but like when it came out and like the first few times I watched it, it was so good.
Dude,
I still remember those times. And then number 10, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. There were a lot of Kevin Smith movies that I considered, but that one was probably my favorite of all of them. So pick that one. Done.
All right. Thank you, Chris. All right. So who wants to go next?
No, I thought we were supposed to discuss them after they listed them.
Oh, we are?
Oh, because I'm discussing Chris's.
And
Oh,
okay, absolutely. I'm mad Dre, you don't know who Hedwig and the Angry Inch is.
Dre grew up
like,
in a black household.
Oh,
Okay.
that doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Well, you don't know.
Everybody who's watching who is black, do you know what Hedwig and the Angry Imp is?
Hedwig and Angry Imp.
That's what he said, right? Oh, Jesse don't know what that is.
You know, but it's not linked to your black card. It's linked to your gay card.
It is.
Actually, your queer card. It's your
wasn't
queer
allowed
card
to
that
be
is failing right now.
Listen, I wasn't allowed to be that until I was like 32. And I'm 32 right now.
Hedwig started out as a one-man show off Broadway, written by John Cameron Mitchell. He plays a German transgender. Well, he was a boy, and then he tried to get out of Germany, but the only way to get out of Germany was to have a sex change operation and marry an officer, like an American officer. They came back to the States. The officer left him, and then he started this whole big music career. And it's she started a whole big music career. Sorry. It is a beautiful story. It's a movie after it was successful off Broadway, they produced a movie about it, which isn't necessarily a one-man show. There are several characters and everything, but it is, it's so good. The music, it's like one of my dream roles to play off, of all time. Like just literally, I would love to be Hedwig anywhere.
I want to watch it now.
Here's my question, Chris. Here's my question. When does the Angry Imp show up?
The Angry Inch. Okay, he had his dick chopped off, and there's an Angry Inch left.
All right.
Okay. We got.
Okay.
That was rough.
I'm pretty sure we said we were gonna let us discuss them afterwards because
we're gonna. Each person reads their list, and then
we're not gonna get through it all, Durian.
We will get through it. We got 50 minutes.
Okay, we'll be quick.
Okay.
On to the next one, which is definitely Little Shop of Horrors as well. A+ on that one, because
you know what?
The singing is awesome in that one.
Amazing.
But if that's how y'all want to do it, you're right. It is faster. I just changed my mind quick. It's
All right, he changed his mind. Let's go to the next person.
Julian, go ahead.
Okay. All right. So number 1 is definitely The Fifth Element, and
go from 10.
And that should be everyone's number 1, by the way. Oh, sorry, we're going from 10. My bad. So it's starting from number 10. Spaceballs, I have. Oh no, yeah, Spaceballs, I have. Okay, all right. So Spaceballs is good. It's very parody for Star Wars, so it's right up my alley. 9 is Army of Darkness, a crazy ass movie.
Yes.
Totally right up there, cult classic. Crazy, so stupid, so crazy. 8 is The Blob. That one, I was afraid of faucets, toilets, fucking bathtubs. I was afraid of anything that had a drain for months after I watched this movie when I was a kid. I cannot even. I have to be on here because like I will never forget that movie.
I believe that did the Blob and the Blob that ate everything. So which one is it? Like the older?
No, I'm talking about like the original older the Blob that would like it bubbled out of the fucking faucet, out of the sink, and it destroyed people and like pulled them into it. Like that's the one I'm talking about.
Nice.
And then what do I have? 7. 7 is Death Becomes Her. That one's on my gay card as well because Meryl Streep, obviously Goldie Hawn, whatever. The movie is amazing. That movie's amazing. Also, I quote that movie pretty often. Surprisingly, I haven't noticed it until kind of more recently, especially when we're talking about cult classics. And then I saw it on there. I was like, Death Becomes Her. I say that shit all the motherfucking time. Like, so that one's on there as well. 6, I've got Hocus Pocus. That one always makes it because I honestly I didn't think it was a cult classic because when I was a kid I just thought everybody loved that movie, but apparently it was not successful at first and it became more successful afterwards. But still, definitely a plus. Everyone's favorite. Definitely the Moes. Moes love that movie. What's her face? Bette Midler thing.
Bette Midler. Kathy Najimy. Sarah Jessica Parker.
Thank you. All 3 of the witches are like the main reason why most gays love fucking Hocus Pocus. Okay, and then number 5, the Moes. The space M-O, homos. Yeah.
Hello.
Okay, and then 5 is Devil's Rejects. That movie was pretty crazy. I was not. It was like it's a horror film. It's a horror thriller, I guess. But when I first saw it, I was not expecting it to be what it was, and I was like, "This is actually really good." Like I'm afraid to go outside now, so I think it's achieved its mark. 5 is that was 5. 4 is Dune. Yeah, that's definitely like a sci-fi like staple cult classic because Dune became so much bigger than it ever first was, and they're remaking it, by the way, so everybody kind of keep an eye out for that. That's gonna be cool. 3 is Little Shop of Horrors, so I have to agree with Chris on that one. The music is A+. Regina from Martin, Gina from Martin is in it, and Pam.
Her name is
Mr. Campbell. Mr. Campbell.
Alicia Campbell. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, amazing.
It's Tisha.
Lisa.
Tisha Campbell.
It's Tisha.
Tisha Campbell.
T.
I don't know. T.
Is it T?
Tisha Campbell.
Tisha Campbell. Her voice is like really prominent in the songs. Like you can pull that out.
Them Urchins was great because of her. She was amazing.
Also, didn't she release an album back in the day?
She's a singer.
A couple of albums, I think.
Yeah, she had like at least 2 or something.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, so Little Shop of Horrors definitely a plus. Music is awesome. The acting is whatever. It's like campy, but it's an awesome show movie.
What about Rick Moranis? Where the hell he is?
What about Steve Martin? Hello.
Yeah.
Helen Green.
That's what I was saying. There were so many good
Rick
ones.
Moranis like quit acting like sometime after Flintstones.
Yeah,
I think he just did. He did like 2 more of the Honey I movies, and then he was like, "All right, I got my residuals. I'm out."
Right.
Yeah. Okay, so then number 2 is Labyrinth. Mm-hmm. How can we not have this on here? That movie is crazy.
It was almost on my list. It was almost.
Also, David Bowie's package the entire time. That's the only thing. Anytime he's on screen, that is literally the only thing that you can ever look at. Because you're like, that cough doesn't even overshadow it. It's unbelievable.
I don't know what you're talking about because I enjoyed the Muppets. Thank you very much. I don't pay attention to that.
Listen, all I'm saying is every time he came on screen, it entered before he did. So it's like, what else are you looking at?
Right, and then, I am so pure. I would never.
I only have children. How else do you think that happened? Nice try, Miz.
I went to a marketing conference last week, and oh my god, they did an entire thing on marketing influencers through Labyrinth, and like she was using all of these characters to like show you who you should be like partnering with, and oh my god, it was really fun.
Oh really? That's exciting. Of all the things to use. But anyway, that one's a good one. We all know that one's like super campy. Cult classic fantasy for sure. Yes, very 80s. And then number one is for me is definitely The Fifth Element. Number motherfucking one. That movie is so goddamn good. I don't even have words. Chris Tucker shines. That man shines that entire fucking movie. Bruce Willis, we all love him, whatever. And then Lilu Dallas Multipass, we would never have anything like that without her. So
I love Gary Oldman.
Laguna, come on, she's such a diva. Oh, so amazing. She gets like 10 minutes of actual like movie time, but the bitch is on fire the whole time. So totally up there as my number one, but those are my top 10.
Okay, who wants to go next?
Oh, dude, I'll go next.
All right, Jessica.
Okay. All right. Let's go. So, Juria, you want me to start from 10?
Yeah.
Countdown.
Yeah? Okay. Yeah, I'm so...
Wait. Yes, go. Great.
Nope, but you have my 1 through 5 up.
Look, y'all.
She's like, okay. I'm not going until I have the right list.
It's y'all fault, because y'all got me messed up. Jessica got thug with me earlier, and I'm still sorry. Okay,
she just did it again.
Where I am. So.
Okay, so I don't know if these count as geek culture, but I'm totally pumped about them. So number 10 is Tenacious D in The Pick of Destiny.
Yeah. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So husband and I super want to go see Tenacious D before they stop doing concerts, and I'm so pumped about it.
Low key, I would go to that concert.
Me
Oh,
too.
yes, right? Like, so good. Jack Black, just,
It's so surprising how good he is at singing.
Right.
Isn't it? It's so good.
Both of them. Kevin, too.
Yeah. So, like, number 9 is Repo Man, the Genetic Opera. So I've got my Anthony Stewart head in there.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yes,
I
Anthony.
love it so much.
Okay.
Love
That's
him.
I like it. So number 8 is Rocky Horror.
Mm-hmm.
Number 7 is Cabin in the Woods. I kind of really love horror movies, and this one for me was really fun just because I love the idea of all of these like monsters in cages that you just like kind of like you're letting these people pick how they die. I don't know. I just think it was really cool. I love it. Plus, it's Joss Whedon, and I'm pretty into Joss Whedon, and so.
Yes.
Hello.
Who's Joss Whedon?
Girl,
Yes,
shut up.
Nice try.
Super fan of that one. And then number 6, I know Juria is not going to like this one because it's not super geeky, but Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. I would say as a journalist, Hunter S. Thompson is fucking awesome. And Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas is based on a true story. If you've never read the book, totally read it because it's so much better than the movie. But I think Johnny Depp does a great job at playing Hunter S. Thompson. Gonzo journalism, so great. I love it a lot. Really happy about it. So I don't care that it's not geeky. It's kind of like journalism geeky, so I'm going to go for it.
There you go.
Jessa, for the rest of this episode, anything you say, I'm ducking all smoke. You think I'm gonna argue with you? Nope, I done seen it. I see what's behind that. I'm scared.
Don't be scared.
I'm sorry, Justin. I wasn't mad. You just saying that made me think of one that I missed on my, and it should have been on my top 10. But
I want to know. Go for it.
Party Monster.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it. I don't know what you're talking about.
It's based off of a book, also. It, Disco Bloodbath 2000 or something like that. Anyways, it's amazing. It's a very not well-known film, but it stars Macaulay Culkin, Seth Green.
Mm-hmm.
I love Seth Green.
Chloe Sevigny's in it. Dylan McDermott's in it. Like, I mean, there are some like names in it, but like no one's ever seen it. It's very much about the drug culture and club kid culture of the New York scene in the early 90s and late 80s. And oh my God, it's so good. The book is fabulous. If you have a chance to read the book, I haven't laughed that much like reading a book in forever. It's amazing. Anyways, it should have made it on my top 10 list, and I didn't even think about it. But Party Monster.
Well, that's fine. I love it. Thank you for sharing.
No problem.
Julia, will you put my 1 through 5 on there?
I sure will.
Thank you, friend. I'm sorry. I feel like you think I'm scary right now. Some of you
No. Yay. Whatever.
Okay. So number 5 is A Knight's Tale.
Okay.
I like it.
I don't know if that counts. So Hocus Pocus was on my list too, but I really think it's so mainstream now that I couldn't count it, or at least I didn't want to count it because I had so many others that I wanted to like be like, Hocus Pocus is mainstream. So Hocus Pocus is definitely an honorable mention. But so Earth Girls Are Easy is number 4 for me, and I don't know if any of y'all have seen it, but it's like that Gina Davis and Jeff Goldblum.
Oh,
Jeff Goldblum, Jim Carrey, and who's that? Damon Wayans. I may be his name wrong, but they like
wait, pause. Did she just do that to Damon Wayans?
Did I do it? I didn't mean to.
You don't know who Damon Wayans is?
that's the one that gave Jim Carrey his job.
Yeah,
I don't know how to say names. I'm not a very
Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm not like giving him any shade. He was freaking awesome. Did you see him dance in that movie? Oh my god. Okay, I'm sorry. But no, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do that. Anyway, they land on Earth as aliens in Gina Davis's pool. And like, oh my gosh, there are like musical numbers and it's really campy and really happy. And like, if I'm ever having a bad day, it's what I'm gonna watch because it's so happy.
The Wayans can do some campy stuff for sure.
Oh,
yeah, they're pretty campy.
It's good. Number 3 is Beetlejuice. Because why wouldn't it be Beetlejuice?
Right.
It's Regina Davis. Number 2, I'm going to go ahead and just encompass all the Evil Dead trilogy into one. So the Evil Dead 1, which also includes Julian's Army of Darkness, because I feel like originally they wanted Evil Dead to be this serious like horror movie, and then they realized how like stupid make it what it is. So I love it. Also, Julian, I have to say, I feel like you and I can hang out and watch movies because I agreed with basically everything on your list too. So
listen, we're gonna do this one of these days. We're just gonna have a watch party on Facebook, and we're just gonna watch it all day.
Yeah.
I'm bitter.
I'm bonding with Julian right now. Don't be rude. And then number 1 is Stardust, which I don't know if really.
Stardust
Love
is good.
Wait, Stardust is which one? Which one is Stardust again?
So it's
Michelle
Pfeiffer.
Robert
Are you something as decrepit as your face? Does your mind become as decrepit as your face? Oh,
Yes.
bitch. She read somebody with that line, and I was dead. I was like, yes.
Robert De Niro is so good at playing this pirate that also just loves to like dress up in dresses and be so like he has.
Yes.
I love it.
He does such a good job of that.
Yeah.
That makeup was on point.
Yes, girl.
So,
Great list.
Yeah.
I like that list. I like everybody's list so far. I'm just throwing shade because it's fun.
Oh, it's fine.
I'm next, right?
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. So my list, I have a crap ton of honorable mentions, but I'm going to save those to the very end. Okay. So my list, I specifically wanted to focus on sci-fi supernatural movies that had ethnic people represented in a very strong sense, because you don't really see that popularly when it comes to this genre. So I picked movies that had a lot of black people in them if I could find them. And I some of y'all out there saw my live earlier today and y'all helped me with that. All right. So let's start with my top 10. My top 10. My first one is a movie called Watermelon Man. Now, Watermelon Man, and I can see all your faces, you don't know it. Watermelon Man is this story about this white man who's in the suburbs in this great, wonderful white life. And one day he wakes up and he's black. And I remember this so specifically because I remember him taking a bath in the milk. He wanted to turn himself white again, so he took a bath in milk. And it really set this idea. It's super woke. And this movie's like from like the 70s, 60s. If you haven't seen it, which I'm sure you haven't, go watch this movie, especially right now. It's a movie that makes a lot of sense. Watermelon Man is my number 10. Number 9, People Under the Stairs. I was afraid forever of that movie. Even I've only watched that movie.
I have seen that movie
twice.
That sounds scary.
It is
maybe
so
like
scary. It is so
It
scary.
is terrifying.
It's one of those movies that I saw and I was like, okay, I saw that. Good. And I couldn't watch it. I might watch it as an adult, but I'm also afraid to watch it that it might like bring back some nightmares. So
Right.
I watched it. Number 8, Vampire in Brooklyn.
Mm-hmm.
Vampire in Brooklyn, to me, was the epitome of all the things. Honestly, here's 2 of my honorable mentions. Eddie Murphy is low-key the king of black sci-fi because he had Vampire in Brooklyn, The Nutty Professor, and Dr. Dolittle.
Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
So, but the Vampire in Brooklyn was like clearly a supernatural movie. It was funny, it was terrifying, and it was well acted. Angela Bassett did her thug thizzle. Everybody was great. John Witherspoon, rest in peace. It was just a great movie with a great cast. Number 7, Eve's Bayou.
Yes.
Now, this movie to me was, I think, one of the movies that, as a black kid, there were no movies like this ever. It had an element of magic. It had an element of supernatural, but it also had a beautifully, wonderfully multicolored black cast. And it was just a great movie. It also tackled a lot of tough issues that we don't tackle in the black community enough. Okay. Number 6, Tales from the Hood. Who in the, and I guess the panel don't see, that's what I'm saying. The panel don't know none of my movies, but y'all
I know that
I
one.
know some of your
No, I
movies.
know Tales from the Hood, and I have a feeling that you're also gonna have
do me like that.
The Sandman is also gonna be on this list.
I don't even know what that movie is. So
I have a feeling the Sandman is also gonna.
So,
But
Tales
okay,
from the
well,
Hood
never mind that.
Tales from the Hood to me was one of like the best horror films ever because it literally played on all of your fears, but it also was like super woke. It talked about domestic violence, racism, gang violence, and it was just so incredible. Tales from the Hood is one of the wokest movies that exist. Period. Fight me. Anyway, and also I love the way it ended. I did not see that coming. The twist at the end, didn't see it coming. So if you haven't seen it, I'm not going to spoil it.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
All right, so here's my top 5. The best top 5 that y'all are going to hear today. Boom. Number 5, Little Shop of Horrors. I couldn't leave it out. It is my childhood. It is my adulthood. Listen, as a musical theater person, it's there. I want to choreograph this musical so bad. I want to direct this musical so bad. I want to be in this musical. But I want to be Audrey too, so motherfucking bad, bro. I want to be bad. Listen,
I can play Seymour.
All I gotta do is stand backstage with a bottle of scotch and a microphone and just hey, that's a dream job.
I remember you singing some that at karaoke.
I did karaoke. I sang Suddenly Seymour.
Yeah, okay.
Suddenly Seymour.
I don't. That's not really a my voice song, but I sang it because they pressured me to it, and I think I got some free alcohol that night.
Right.
I think I won that night or something.
Number 4, I went with Hocus Pocus because for me, growing up, I was the only kid I knew who liked this movie. No shit. Growing up, as an adult, knowing that there's so many people out there who love Hocus Pocus, and it is the definition, in my opinion, of a cult classic. A movie that is well made, was what it was, and it just has this following that is diehard and loyal. If they made a sequel today, it would probably break records.
Oh hell yeah!
They were supposed to.
Yeah.
There was an article that came out today.
Yeah, they were going to make a sequel.
I thought Sarah Jessica Parker said that all 3 of the actresses agreed to do one. So it's still in the works.
Yeah.
We're going to keep our fingers crossed for that one. All right. And then number 3, I put X-Men 2. This is why. Specifically X-Men 2. Because there's 2 reasons. X-Men 1 is, in my opinion, the reason that Hollywood knew, we can make money off of group superhero movies, right? But that wasn't enough because that could have been a fluke. X-Men 2 is arguably, it is the best of the 3, of the first 3. It's the best one because the story was balanced. It wasn't all about Wolverine. Everyone had their part. There were multiple stories going on, multiple plot lines, and you got to see, and it was the best. It was the first superhero movie to leave us with this idea of what's going to happen next. It was the first one that did it with Jean Grey at the end. To me, this is one of the most pivotal movies in superhero history. Fight me in the comments, though, because I don't want no smoke right here.
No, it was the best. It was the best of the original 3.
Tell me if you disagree.
And it definitely was the best of the original 3. I mean, okay. And my last one, next one is Scream.
Yeah.
Yes.
Scream, shut it down. Listen, Scream is I don't even have to explain that movie. That movie changed the horror film. Like, you couldn't even make a slasher film after that because it wasn't going to be as good as Scream.
Right, but wasn't it like immensely popular when it came out?
The thing about it was that the reason I call it like, there's no definition that says it has to not be popular. That's
well,
just
that's kind of what it.
Look, I just read you the definition. It said something, typically a movie or book, that is popular or fashionable among a particular group or section of society.
But it was popular among everybody.
Scream was not popular because I know a lot of people who don't watch horror movies. It's only popular.
That's not like a genre that people don't like.
Listen. I can argue the validity of a lot of y'all's shit. Okay.
For sure.
This is how I feel about Scream. Scream is a cult classic because Scream shut down an entire genre. Scream honestly was promoted just as like this movie starring Drew Barrymore, right? And then she gets killed in the first 10 minutes.
Which I love.
Which is why it's a cult classic. It just shut it down. Like, you could still make a Scream today. It might not do as well as the old ones, but it's still going to sell money. Okay. And then my last one. Let's talk about this one.
Okay. I'm
on board. Let me tell you why we talk about The Wiz. Mm-hmm. The Wiz is the shiz because it was a proof of Black excellence. The fact that you could put a whole bunch of Black people together and create something beautiful without egos. We're gonna let Diana Ross shine, then we're gonna let Michael shine, then we're gonna let Nipsey shine, then we're gonna let Teresa shine, and it's gonna be like that. They got everybody together. It was so well produced, so well written, especially for the time. It was beautiful how they reconstructed the stage version to fit with this modern version, because the stage version, it's in Kansas, right? But in the modern version, they made Oz look like New York in ruins. Mm-hmm. So it was low-key woke, right? And futuristic. And it was so clever the way they made the Tin Man like an old amusement park guy. Like, it was just smart. It was funny. It's one of the classic movies if you're a Black kid. If you're a Black kid and you haven't seen The Wiz, I'm confused. Also, to me, it created something that Wizard of Oz didn't create for me. Like, Wizard of Oz was great, but it didn't have that, like, it had like 2 songs. It didn't have that like nostalgic feel to it where I could just, and I know every word to that movie, y'all. I just like The Wiz, The Wiz, The Wiz, The Wiz. My honorable mentions, real quick. I'm gonna list them out. Honorable mentions. I took off Kill Bill and Death Proof because they're not sci-fi though. They're not sci-fi.
Kill Bill is there for me too.
Rocky Horrors, of course, are my honorable mentions. Avengers: Infinity War is one of mine because I think that is like going to be one of the most critical movies. It'll stand to me when time is told.
Everyone loves Infinity War.
Everyone.
Oh, listen. Let me tell you something. I have met several people who do not like that movie. Granted, I was locked up, but they didn't like the movie. I'm just telling you, I like the movie. Nightmare on Elm Street is on my honorable mentions.
Okay.
The Star Wars, specifically Attack of the Clones, because of the Luke, I am your father. That line specifically. Blade is one of my honorable mentions. Mm-hmm. Black excellence, once again, Black and sci-fi. Another one is Get Out.
Yeah, I loved Get Out. Yeah.
Fight Club, I debated with because I wasn't sure if we were going to consider that sci-fi or just psychological.
I think it's psychological.
Yeah, I would consider it psychological.
Never Ending Story, but this is just one from a friend of mine. Never Ending Story, right?
I almost named that one.
Absolutely.
And
that one's
two more. Batman Returns and Resident Evil.
Okay, yeah.
Those are my honorable mentions. Yeah. Oh, no. And Mars Attacks.
Mars Attacks, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Ricky.
I love everybody's list so far, to be honest.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, I don't know some of yours, Dirty A, but I feel like I'd like them.
Of course, I knew that. I was ready. I came ready.
I feel like I'd like them.
Okay, so my top 10. Number 10. You ready for me, Dirty A?
Yep.
Okay. The Goonies.
Okay.
So I recently got into that movie. I didn't realize the storytelling was really good. It's one of those, there's some 80 movies where, like, you didn't realize were cult classics, like they didn't do well, but for some reason they just are. So The Goonies is one, or number 10. Number 9, I'm sorry to have this low on my list, but Hocus Pocus.
Mm-hmm. I love
Hocus
on the list. That's all that matters.
It's on the list. It's low, but whatever. All right. One thing I have to say right now is that not all of mine are sci-fi, completely geeky related. They're
apparently, Danny from the comments hates that they're not. They were calling some of this stuff sci-fi. So
yeah, you
I
can
know.
enjoy your cult classics.
okay. They are not all sci-fi, so I'm sorry, dude. You're just gonna have to deal. Number 8, and I didn't realize this was a cult classic. Bring It On.
It's amazing.
Bring It On is such like a quotable movie to me. Like, I
still quote it to this day.
Right, like, I don't understand how it was considered a cult classic, but
because they didn't expect for it to do as well as it did at the box office.
And there's a following like that movie. Yes.
And it had a really low budget because like they didn't expect for it to do well.
Right.
I think they spent more money on, I forget which part, but it wasn't like special effects and actors. I think it might have been the stunt doubles.
Probably.
I think that's what it was. Oh, side note, BLAQUE, my favorite girl group.
Yes, Black.
Yeah.
Rest in peace, Tina Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I know.
But I know, it's really sad.
Boom like an 808.
Boom like an 808. Thank you. I was just gonna say, we make it circle. Okay. Where my girls at? From the front to back.
No,
that's 702 girl. That's 702 girl. My bad.
That's what happens when folks get too excited.
I know. I get excited.
That's cousin Skeeter. No. All right. Number 7. Okay. Crybaby.
Almost on my list too.
I love that movie. I could sit and watch that movie all the time. It's one of those ones where it randomly comes up on the TV show, usually VH1, and I'll sit and watch it all the way through. I don't care. So you have a really young, good-looking Johnny Depp. You have a Ricky Lake. Like it's
you got a hammer face,
right? It's good music, and it's I love it. Number 6, Rocky Horror Picture Show, of course. That's on the list. Number 5, The Wiz. So,
okay. Yep.
I got you.
She is.
Okay, The Wiz. All right. Number 4, Jawbreaker.
Yes. Yeah.
Because if there was ever a film
that was the shit.
Yes, it was that. And if there was ever a time you could be like, Rose McGowan is that girl, it's in Jawbreaker.
Oh, right.
Man.
So it was like Heathers and Jawbreaker were right there for me. I didn't want to put both of them on there, and I should have. I mean, why not? Because I love them both so much.
Can I make a statement really quick?
Yes.
If there was ever a time that a teen movie and an actress from a teen movie should have won an Oscar, it was Rose McGowan in that movie.
I think so. Because
she was the embodiment of evil. I've been so scared of her since then.
Right.
Like I would never cross Rose McGowan.
That was like wasn't he like with Marilyn Manson by that time too?
Yeah, he was in that movie.
Yes,
he made a cameo. Yeah.
He played the dude. Yeah, he was Oh, she was amazing in that movie.
Yes. All right. Number 3, Labyrinth. Yes, David Bowie, but like all my little reject Fraggle Rock characters are my favorite. I love anything with the Jim Henson Muppet in it. I can't deny it.
I got a friend who's crazy about about David Bowie, so I do.
But all right, so number 2, Josie and the Pussycats. Don't judge me. Do not.
No
you know, my friend thought that this was Gem when you first were talking about it, like when we did our little trailer and stuff.
That was my my actual answer for that trailer.
I did it.
It was Gem. Okay,
yes,
nice.
But that was before we decided that we were going to talk about films and not just cult classics in general. But so yes, your friend was correct. The truly outrageous show is Gem, which. Like that's my childhood right there. But yes, Josie and Pussycats. Like I wanted to learn how to play the bass. After that, I wanted to be Val, and I wanted to learn how to play the bass, and I wanted to be in a girl group. My best friend from middle school, she was Josie / Mel because she could play the drums, but she was like a redhead. So it was a weird combination. But and the soundtrack slaps still.
Okay.
It does because it was produced by Babyface. Number 1.
Man, I feel like if I knew we were doing movies that weren't like, I'm sorry, go ahead, finish your list before I say what I'm about to say.
Okay, so number 1 for me is Beetlejuice. So this is why. No, Shut your mouth, Duryea.
What?
Right. No, I love Beetlejuice. I love Beetlejuice. I love Beetlejuice the movie. I love Beetlejuice the cartoon. I like Beetlejuice. I actually really like Beetlejuice the musical.
It's not bad.
I love the music.
It's not bad. It's really good.
Yes,
Duryea.
oh yes.
Duryea!
Shut up,
I
Duryea.
haven't seen the musical either. Don't worry. But I would like it.
But like, it's
I'm feeling a little today.
Look. This is gonna get you if you keep on.
I know.
You better
I have to change my address after this.
You just changed it, didn't you?
Look, I'm gonna have to change it again.
Yes, so like I love just like that creepy old guy. That's what he is. He's a creepy, and like I love Lydia Deetz, and like it's that's like emo before we really had emo for me. So I loved that whole like universe of what's it called? Beetlejuice. So yes, those are my top 10 cult classics. So thank you. All right, so we are going to before we go into our next portion, we want to talk about how we do this podcast. So Jessa, take it away.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard about something called Anchor, it's actually how we're doing this podcast right now. And it's honestly the easiest way to make a podcast. So you guys should definitely check it out. So let us explain real quick. First of all, it's free, which is awesome.
Yes, and so you will also have all the recording and editing tools you'll need just right in your phone or your computer.
Also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. So as soon as you upload it, you can view it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many other platforms.
We also can kind of make some money off of it. So if you ever need to make money off your podcast, it comes with no minimum listenership, which is awesome.
Also, it's basically a one-stop shop for everything you need. So if you'd like to do your own podcast, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to join. That's how we do it. Also, remember, this is going to be available the day after we film on audio. So if you go to anchor.fm, WNM Geekin Out, you will find this on audio tomorrow morning. And you can listen to it at work, or if you had to go and didn't see us all the way through, make sure you connect with us that way, okay?
Yes, Tia James, you can listen to the rest of this later.
Yes.
We'll also be on YouTube technically, if I'm not quite podcasty, but
we'll be on YouTube.
All right.
Yeah.
So this next segment, we're going to try to find a way to compile
quickly
our list.
I see your face, Jessica.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
there's some stuff that everybody said.
Yeah.
So I think we should do it this way. I think we could have a few musicals, and then a few sci-fi.
Let's start with what everybody had. Let's go from there.
Would you have
Rocky Horror, Little Shop of Horrors.
Horrors.
Both of those have to make it.
So Rocky's on there. You know Rocky's on there. Okay.
To be fair, I think if you when you research cult classics, Rocky Horror is it. Like that's the original. Yeah. Like if it's not your favorite, that is the ultimate cult classic.
It doesn't have to be number one, but it needs to be on the list.
Right.
So
Rocky, if anyone's ever in New York, so I was gonna say, because Rocky Horror, they do the IFC theater in New York, which is like the independent theater in New York. They every year they do a huge Rocky Horror, like it's around Halloween time. They do a whole huge Rocky Horror screening. It's big. It's like it's a main thing. So if you're in New York around that time, keep an eye out for it. Look for it. It's the IFC theater. It's like downtown somewhere, but it's really nice. It's worth trying out.
I think they do the same thing in Atlanta. I just can't remember.
In a lot of big cities.
Yeah.
They do it in Alabama as well.
Y'all know we're running out of time.
Okay, sorry. All right, so Rocky Horror, Little Shop of Horrors, Labyrinth, I think.
Yes, was on multiple.
Labyrinth, I think.
So was Hocus Pocus.
Labyrinth. I don't like that movie, but I'll put it there because I know what I'm about to fight for. So How do you spell that?
Yeah.
Labyrin.
I think Ricky and I should get Beetlejuice because that was on both of our lists.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then we're putting the Wiz on there.
Honestly, I think Goonies should be there too, and the
What?
Wiz.
And the Wiz, yeah.
We need four more.
Okay.
I'd say Goonies as well.
Not the Goonies.
It's a pretty solid cult classic.
Okay, what about Evil Dead, Julian?
Classics,
I go
Evil Dead trilogy?
Yeah.
I go
I would say Evil Dead as well.
Evil Dead.
Yes, because that was
Let's
on
see
multiple
what
lists.
The trilogy, the whole
Yeah,
thing.
we can just do the whole thing.
Yeah.
So we got we'll do them in order in a second, but right now we got 7. So we need 3 more. Can I
I mean, The Fifth Element can totally make it on there.
because you're the only one that had that. Nobody likes that movie.
Wow. Hey.
Ow!
Nobody likes
Wait, what movie is he suggesting? I didn't hear it. What movie was it?
He said
Oh, me, The Fifth Element.
Fifth
Oh
Element.
no, I sorry, I can't support that.
Yeah.
Who are my
Can we-
panelists right now?
Can we do Resident Evil as a series?
So I haven't seen it. I've heard good things, so I can be okay
Okay,
with
fine.
it.
I can take that L.
Ooh.
I can take that.
Okay.
What about Scream as a series?
I love Scream. I can get behind Scream.
I could get
get
behind Scream.
Yeah.
Even though it was immensely popular when it came out.
Thank you. I don't want to get behind it.
Okay, we need 2
What
more.
about Doom, guys?
Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker.
Jawbreaker's got on it.
Yeah.
We have our team one.
So
Can I like scooch Tenacious D in there at the very end, like at
10.
like just as the like he's at the
I
very
have seen that movie. It is a really good movie. I don't mind it.
I don't mind either.
this is the end. Like it doesn't even have to be in the running for anything.
You gotta commit Julian. Yeah, Julian, he's trying to duck smoke, but I look at his face. Unless he's frozen. Oh,
I
he's
don't
frozen.
mind it. I don't mind it.
So can we put them in an order? So 10 is Tenacious D.
yeah.
Here we
Yeah.
go.
What's the name of it?
Tenacious
The Pick of
D
Destiny.
in the peck of destiny.
Okay.
Destiny. Sorry.
Yes. No, it's just me.
Wait, what else do we have on there? Labyrinth, right?
So 9 is so the list is we have Jawbreaker, Scream, Evil Dead, Wiz, Beetlejuice. Can we Labyrinth number 9?
I would do
No,
Labyrinth.
let's take Scream.
Of course not. Get out. Oh, well.
I think Labyrinth would be higher up on the list as far as cult
That's
classics.
because you
think
picked
higher. I think it should be higher. I think it should be around
Yeah.
like 5 or 6.
Yeah,
No.
definitely higher. Labyrinth is huge. What are you talking about? It's no Labyrinth. They love it.
Either any of these movies. Please help, audience, because I need somebody to have my back.
I mean, like I have your back too. I would say Labyrinth number 9, but maybe we could like compromise and like put it at like a number 7, right? Like maybe they wanted 5,
Yeah.
6.
Fine.
We want, like 9.
Labyrinth,
Maybe we put it at 7.
I mean,
Okay,
like,
fine.
you know, I'd be fine putting like Jawbreaker at number 9, even though I love that movie. I could
Yeah.
put that at number 9.
I haven't seen Jawbreaker, so I can't.
I think
really-
it fits number 9 because it's less geeky, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
geeky.
People lower on the
I'll
list
give it-
are not as geeky, I guess.
So what's 8 then? Is 8 gonna be
Could you put?
I say
Evil
Army of
Dead.
Darkness.
Yeah.
Evil Dead. Sorry.
Okay, fine.
I wanted to put
Yeah.
Rocky right there, to be honest.
I would
Rocky
put
Horror?
Rocky a little
I-
more.
Rocky for number 8, because none of us are like super crazy about it. We just respect that it is that film.
I
All
am.
right, I'll be fine with that. But then
Yeah.
Evil Dead number 7.
Okay,
Okay.
that's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's do that.
And then
And then
okay,
next we could do Labyrinth.
Labyrinth, and then I would say probably The Wiz.
That's
Maybe-
probably what I would next to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
The
Wiz
Wiz
right
right
there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He, see how he grit his teeth and looked at me before he said it.
I didn't want to offend you, Jerry. I love The Wiz.
Anyone, we love each other. It has to
Okay, so now what we have left, we have Scream, made it into the top 5.
Scream can be
We have
4.
Scream, Little Shop, Hocus Pocus, and Beetlejuice. So I say Beetlejuice number 4.
Actually, we should.
No.
No,
I say
Scream.
number 4.
Scream is definitely number 4.
I would-
Scream.
Okay, Scream and
Scream,
Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice,
Scream.
Hocus Pocus number 1, and then number 2 would be whatever that other one was.
I agree with that.
Little,
Yeah.
Little
I can
Shop.
do that.
Yeah.
Little Shop of
All right,
Horrors.
Scream,
Hocus Pocus.
Beetlejuice, Hocus Pocus,
and then
Little Shop
of Horrors.
Yep.
Wait. Well, yeah. Which one do we want to make one? Hocus Pocus or Little Shop?
Little Shop. Little Shop is number. Oh,
okay.
that's a good question. I would actually put Hocus Pocus.
I would put Hocus Pocus. I don't.
Hocus Pocus is my favorite movie of all time. So yes.
Chris says yes.
Hocus Pocus
I think
is iconic. I think.
Yeah.
I can't spell horrors either. Okay, so I think that
is it a Little Shop of Horrors or Horrors?
Horrors. I almost picked Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, though. That was also amazing.
Listen, guys, I would really appreciate it if you would stop talking about my house like that, okay?
Yeah.
No disrespect on your house, I promise.
And there's people who live here other than me, and they've deserved
Okay.
So that's our list, everybody. We're going to run it down one more time, everybody. So top 10 cult classics according to the Geeking Out panel. So that means this is the new official top 10.
Obvious.
Period. Number 10, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. Number 9, Jawbreaker. Number 8, Rocky Horror Picture Show. Number 7, The Evil Dead. Number 6, Labyrinth. Number 5, The Wiz. Number 4, Scream. Number 3, Beetlejuice. Number 2, Little Shop of Horrors. And number 1, Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
I actually love that list.
We made a great list.
Yeah,
we really did.
I think it a lot.
We need to have
Does anyone have any? Oh, go ahead.
We need to have this date as a group.
Yeah.
Where we just watch this.
We should do a watch party of these.
You should do a watch party and just watch them and critique and comment. That would be so freaking dope, you guys.
Yes.
That would be a good idea. That would be a good idea. We'll have like a drunk watch party.
Also, like there's a lot of movies in here that some of us have never seen.
Right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right.
Wine and watch.
Yes. All right. So now that we have our official top 10, that means we're coming to the end of our show. So next week, or not next week, our next episode, my good friend Chris is going to be hosting. So Chris, take it away. What are you going to talk about?
On our next panel, we will be discussing all things anime, which is something that I have gotten into more recently. Like, I actually started with Sailor Moon way back in the day, but then fell off the anime train, but got back into it several years ago, and I'm kind of obsessed. So we're going to be talking about our favorite anime characters, favorite anime shows. All kinds of topics. If you guys have anything that you want to bring to the table next week, then stay tuned is it next week or the week after?
The week after.
The week after next. Then stay tuned, bring your comments, be live, and we'll see you there.
Awesome. So I also want to say thank you to everyone in the comments and every people watching. We had a lot of great interaction today. Lindsay Custais, I don't know if I said that right, but she said Casadis, thank you. She said Stardust. I love that movie. Danny Yoon.
My friend said Starship Troopers, by the way, which is it's a classic.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently there's like 2 other installments of it. Didn't know that, but yeah.
Honorable mention for me, Clueless. And
I was gonna say, can we go through just a few honorable mentions because I have a pretty long list.
Honorable mentions really fast. Let's wrap it up.
Yeah, we got like a couple.
Okay, real fast. So this is on there. We definitely said. Against Flash Gordon, Pulp Fiction, Toxic Avenger. Bitch, I have a whole thing. Python and the Holy Grail, Akira, Mad Max. What is it? Little Monsters, Mommy Dearest. Hello. The Crow. Hello, the Priscilla, the Queen of the Desert, also on the gay card one. Requiem for a Dream. There is one that's a French one. It's worth watching if you ever get a chance. It's called High Tension. That one is really good. It comes with like a
that is the best horror movie of all time. That movie,
and I think the friend plays Plava Laguna in The Fifth Element. By the way, P.S. So
hey, Julian, is Mommy Dearest based on Gypsy Rose Blanchard and that case where she murdered her mom and everything?
Mommy Dearest is like no more wire hangers.
No more wire.
Yeah, no more wire hangers. No more wire hangers.
It was a autobiography, but not an autobiography. It was a biography written by Joan Crawford's daughter that they made into a movie.
I thought it was like a true crime thing, which is my other geekiness.
Tell me, hey y'all, tell me why when Julian started doing his honorable mentions, it reminded me at the award show when the music started playing.
Right.
Wait.
But there's so many good ones. Battlefield Earth. Come on, guys. Like, there's so many.
One more. All right. So one more. We didn't mention this. The Craft.
The Craft. How did we miss that movie?
The Craft.
Thank you. There's so many.
Yo, that
on this list.
should
like,
definitely be on our list, y'all.
So
Damn. I feel like we failed.
We failed.
We didn't fail.
I put
Put that in
Pitch
number
Black
5.
right around there. That's crazy. But that was a good one.
Okay, so that is the end of our show. We want to thank you all. So let's go ahead and say where you can find all of us. Go.
Go. Somebody else go.
Okay. Jessa?
Okay, you can find me at garrett.com or at Jessa Lynn Pease, like please without the L, Pease.
You can find me on Instagram at Chris of Steel. My Facebook is the ending is / Buns of Steel. So just search me on either one of those. And Steel is spelled like my last name with an E at the end.
Julian.
All right. Me, you can find on Instagram at Bad Juju, BADDJUJU. And then you can find me on Facebook, Julian Ramirez. I think it's like /JU.Ramirez4 if you're looking for it. But you'll find our links around somewhere. Don't worry.
You can find me on Instagram at Dury with a yay. That's DUREYWITHAYAY. You can also find me by, I know I had, because they're gonna what's a Dury? You can also find me on Facebook and via Duryea Rashad. Duryea Collier. So look for me there. You can also find me by going to Woe Nelly Media, Duryea Rashad at WoeNellyMedia.com.
All right, and then you can find me on Instagram at RickyZ_social. So that's Ricky with RICKEY. Or you can find me on Twitter with at RickyZ social, no underscore. All right, so we want to thank you guys for joining us this week. And we'll see you in 2 weeks on Monday, 8 p.m. here on Facebook Live or YouTube. Bye, guys.